Okay, well, it's had a chance to sit overnight. Now, last night, just before I went to bed, I brought a little small fan up and put on this to help it dry. It seemed to help quite a bit. It's still damp in some of the lower areas where I'm sure the water's made its way down a little bit. And this is also a little bit thicker material down here than what I have up on top. But up on this board, and on the edges it's dried, or at least it's almost completely dried, and it does stay flexible depending on what your substructure is. Up on the wood, of course, it doesn't give hardly at all. It feels like a dense foam almost when you press into it. So it's plenty firm enough if you've got a good sub base to put it on, and I think it should take ground cover and stuff just like any other terrain on top. Now, one thing I didn't mention yesterday that should be probably should have done was take the wet water and spray these dryer sheets first. If you can see right here, I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, you can see that, I think. Right here, I sprayed it first and then put a little bit up here to test it against this. Now, around the edges, it acts like it's wanting to pull away just a smidge. On this, it doesn't look like that. It looks like it adhered really well to it. So that's how I'll do it from now on, is I'll wet that down first, just like you do at the back of the rocks. Wet it down with the wet water, and that lets that glue get in a little bit better into the material and hold it a little bit better. But I think it'll be okay the way it is. It'll just hold a little bit better like that. The other thing I wanted to try and do, this is real dry up here on top on this board, and I was going to try and wet that again. I don't know how long it has to sit before you could peel that up pretty easy. Although I could peel it up as it's dry, but oh yeah, it gets wet real quick again, just like it was yesterday. So that would be good. Now, the only problem with that would be maybe, I don't know, maybe painting over the top of it might be a little bit tough. I haven't tried that yet. It's still a little wet to put paint on. But if you wanted to paint it after the fact, it might be a little tough. I may try to show you that later this week. I'm gonna do a full update on the layout, but I don't know how that would work with it. Although if you got the paint on there, it would just get wet again and then dry, I'm sure. So, but you should be able to wet it down again and then sprinkle your ground foam on there like they originally said. And if I did that, I would sprinkle my ground cover on and then just come back over with the setting glue spray and spray over the top of that. Other than that, I think it's a pretty good product. I will put in a link in the description to the manufacturer. It is manufactured for Scenery Solutions in Salina, Kansas, and their website is www.scenerymadeeasy.com. And he's got other products in there too. This was the only thing I bought from him, but it does seem to work pretty well, and I will use it definitely on the rest of this. It's holding the rocks just fine. You can see it still gives a little bit. It is flexible even after it dries, depending on what your subsurface is. But it's holding the rocks just fine, because this one right here is pretty heavy. I did block it up last night when I put it on after I filmed, and I blocked that up, and it's now up there just fine. I wouldn't worry about it ever coming loose. So anyway, that's the next day on it. It does say 24 to 36 hour dry time, so it's within that, and I think it does what it says it does. They also give you a really nice tip sheet full of different things that you can do with it. One which I thought was really clever was making, if you paint your own backdrops, making 3D clouds, putting it up white, and then using a little airbrush and a little bit of gray to give it some definition. I think they'd make really good looking clouds. But anyway, that's it, and we'll see you later.